Welcome to Timebeat Breaking News channel. Here are our breaking news today. 1. Rail Minister calls for urgent plan from train operators as crack disruption continues. 2. Voters will need photo ID for general elections.
The United Kingdom. Rail Minister calls for urgent plan from train operators as crack disruption continues. The Rail Minister has asked the industry to urgently set out a plan for resuming normal service after some trains had to be withdrawn over the weekend. Cracks were discovered on some trains on Saturday, resulting in the Class 800 series made by Japan's Hitachi being pulled off lines for safety checks. Worst affected were Great Western Railway and London North Eastern Railway, with both operators warning passengers that they should expect disruption on Monday. Rail Minister Chris Heaton-Harris said, "Today I have directed the rail industry to urgently set out a comprehensive plan to ensure services can safely resume as soon as possible." He hoped the operators would explore all the options for alternative services to help people complete their journey, and asked Hitachi to plan safety inspections, as well as strategy repairs that are more permanent. Train operators and representatives from Hitachi were invited to an urgent meeting with MPs on Sunday to discuss the problems. "We are working as quickly and safely as possible to investigate the issue across the remainder of the fleets," the company said on Twitter. The Great Western Railroad cancelled some significant services and said it expected the disruption to extend into next week. They hope to be able to get them back into action as soon as possible. Mr. Heaton-Harris says train operators should arrange alternative bus and bus services to assist their customers.
The United Kingdom. Voters will need photo ID for general elections. Britons will have to show photo ID to vote in future general elections. Ministers are poised to confirm this week, as a means of tackling fraud which critics claim could deter poorer and ethnic minority voters from taking part in democracy. The proposal is to be included in Tuesday's Queen's speech, which will set out the government's post-pandemic priorities and the laws it intends to pass in the forthcoming parliamentary session. A requirement that all voters carry photo ID could impede people who wish to turn up at polling stations without planning ahead, given about a quarter of voters, often younger voters, do not have either a passport or driving license, critics say. The government has previously said people would be able to apply for a voting ID card from their local council. The voting reforms, which will also include a limit on the number of postal votes that can be handed in on behalf of others, are being justified by ministers as a way to reduce the risk of electoral fraud. While ministers are pressing ahead with electoral reforms, they have found it harder to draw up a plan to reform the social care system. Last week, the Daily Telegraph claimed that the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, was concerned about the multi-billion-pound cost of reforming social care, prompting the government to delay bringing forward firm proposals. The newspaper reported that one proposal, which would cap the maximum contribution at £35,000, would largely benefit wealthy homeowners in southeast England. Thank you for watching. We help you stay up to date all the news hourly. Please subscribe our channel to follow up the latest one.